My name is Eddie. Our public safety officials that have been here throughout the entire night, our General Service Department. We want to provide a brief update of everything that's took place over the last several hours and answer any questions. Neighborhood have identified and verbally articulated that they see a tornado that did touch ground in Gary. It's probably one of the most hardest hit areas in the city of Gary. So we have dozens of families in this footprint right now that have been displaced. A few minutes to articulate what took place in some of the rescue efforts last night. And flooding, as well as numerous trees and limbs down throughout the entire city. We've received reports of damage as far as our Emerson neighborhood, which is far west to 21st and Clark Road, and the Tolleson neighborhood. And we do know that this was citywide. So they're going to be our utility company with NIPSCO. We do know that NIPSCO sustained over 13,000 power outages throughout Northwest Indiana. They're still working on a restoration time. While they're doing their assessment, we're going to ask residents to be patient while they analyze restoration time in the city. Notably, we have our illustrious McCullough Academy behind us. School was canceled today, clearly. The roof was taken off of the gymnasium. I want to thank Dr. Stokes and her team for their leadership. Last night we were able to use a portion of the school as shelter, as many of the neighbors were seeking answers on what. We have set up a temporary shelter at 4101 Monroe Street, which is our warming and cooling center. 4101 Washington. I'm sorry, 4101 Washington Street, the Monroe Center. Assistance that they can go to that address, 4101 Washington Street at the Monroe Center. So we definitely want to encourage the residents of that. Again, to everyone, the volunteers, the neighbors that helped another neighbor, to the police, to the. As you see behind us, we have our community. We have our elected officials, our leaders, the council, our trustees here. Right now I'm going to ask Deputy Chief Mark Terry if he can come forward and share and highlight from a public safety perspective. So, Deputy Chief.
This area, as well as Black Oak and the Emerson downtown area, for reports of wires down and building collapses. The call in this neighborhood came in the NIPSCO power lines falling onto the residents behind us. Responded and began an assessment as soon as we arrived on the scene. The initial response included finding damage to the school, actually in front of us, behind you, and then the homes behind us here. We were able to effect one rescue, one resident, and she was transported to the hospital in stable condition. We are not able to give any other information, so we will not have any more to update other than that she was in good and stable condition when she left here.
A little bit loud.
We were able to do a primary and secondary search on all of the residents in all of the houses in this neighborhood. Everyone is accounted for. We have found no other victims. There are no reports of anybody missing. So we had that completed within an hour of the initial call last night, and then we've been, at that point, reaching out to our state and local partners. Primarily, our initial call was to the American Red Cross for assistance in housing and disaster response. We also made calls with the Lake County Emergency Management Agency, the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, and to our board-up contractor that is providing stabilization for the
Indiana Department of Transportation. I want to thank the Lake County Commissioner, Lake County Council representatives for sending support. Flooding that has been reported. Some homes have reported some flooding opportunities on their streets. The board has provided additional resources and trucks payloaders to help clean up the debris throughout the entire city. So I want to thank all of our partners and corporate partners. And a special shout out to the Mayor of Hobart, who has also extended his team in Public Works Department to help us eliminate the trees. What you're going to see throughout the city is a significant amount of tree damage on cars, on homes that have evacuated a lot of people out of their homes. So be patient with us as we try to address the trees as we clear our main streets and thoroughfares. And again, Gary Common Council and our township trustee for her leadership and being able to provide additional resources. I believe also some food vouchers and support cleaning supplies for those that are in need for that. Call 311, ladies and gentlemen, to the public. If you haven't ended that line, have multiple operators there to take your calls. If there is a busy signal, be patient with us. We have hundreds of individuals calling at this time. So be consistent, be persistent in that effort. If you see a power line down, assume that it is live. Assume that it's live. So we want to encourage you all to stay away from down power lines. And also, we want to encourage everyone to seek shelter because, as you can see, the weather is unpredictable right now. So at this time, I'm going to pause, take any questions from the media at this time.
The shelter that you were talking about, is this an overnight shelter for residents, or is this just for, during the day?
Yes, this is an overnight shelter.
Any assistance from the state or the federal government?
I've talked to the governor's office last night, just recently, the attorney general's office. So the state is prepared to provide whatever support as needed. So we appreciate them for reaching out proactively. All right. Thank you, everybody.